Here are the things you need to know if you want to start lifting heavy. So let's get you ready now. So I'm going to be deadlifting today. So while I do my heavy lifting today, I'm going to take breaks and use them to tell you what you need to do so you can also lift heavy with me. Let's go. A lot of people have this misunderstanding, especially women, that if they lift heavy weights, somehow they will just become like, doesn't work like that, man. If you want to really look that muscular and manly, you are going to have to inject some heavy ass and expensive ass testosterone in your body. Your body naturally can only grow to a certain level. Obviously, depending on your genetics and other factors, your body type, etc., your diet, your lifestyle, your body will grow and show results in very different ways. So for me, I was built like a sugar cane. So no matter what I do, as much as I would love to have more muscle, I just don't do it. Obviously, I am a little bit more built than I was when I was 20, but then again, when I was 20, I was like 94 pounds, okay? So lift heavy, use that to help like promote more happy hormones in your body. Lifting can be incredibly therapeutic. I have used it in my entire life in coping with depression, anxiety, anger, sadness, whatever it might be, whatever that emotion that was that I felt like I couldn't control. I have just gotten my ass up, walked out, gone to the gym and worked out, and ultimately I end up feeling way more in control and stronger about whatever that situation is in my life, and I'm in a better position to make better decisions. Lifting heavy also means you have to lift light. It doesn't mean you're going to be lifting heavy weights all the time, every day, no matter what. There are going to be phases in your training. So there is a prep phase in the beginning where you are only maybe lifting between 40 to 60% of the weight you normally do. I still have breath. Then there's obviously the phase where you are starting to progress into heavier and heavier weight. And then once you've completed a full cycle of training, towards the end you have the deload period where you are again tapering down and lifting lighter. Most importantly, you also have to do your warm-up in accordance with what you're training that day. So you need to be warming up the muscles that you need activated for a movement. Today, for example, I'm deadlifting, so I'm doing the single leg deadlift, which is an incredible exercise that has also helped me out with my low back injury that I sustained about a decade ago. And these are the movements that I have learned through Stuart McGill. And if you don't know who he is, I heavily recommend you check his work out. You go to a seminar, you read a book, because it can be incredibly eye-opening and educating. A lot of people think you need to do your core training at the end. I think this is a more popular concept in bodybuilding, but in strength training, you want to do your core warm-up prior to training. This helps to make sure that your core is nice and ready and prepared to lift heavy before you do it. You want your core to be nice and activated before you go in for a heavy squat or a deadlift. Most people think core workouts are just like crunches, whereas there are a lot more progressive movements that you can do that help balance out a weak core and obliques before you lift heavy, such as this, which is the bird dog. Regardless of how heavy or light you're lifting that day, especially your warm-up, don't take the warm-up lightly. Get it? If anything, treat your warm-up like it is your heaviest rep or your heaviest weight that you can do, and really focus on getting your technique down, because ultimately that is what your body is learning. So don't save proper technique for your last heavy set. Use it from the beginning and really treat your warm-up as a way to get your body warmed up for the heavier lifts, okay? This way, when you get into your heavier sets, your body is already prepared in its movements and mechanics and is not gonna fuck up and you won't get injured and herniate a disc or something. Don't, trust me. It's painful and it's not worth it. I don't know if this needs to be said. Sorry, my knees are hurting. So when you start getting to my age, you know, like now I say things like that. When you reach my age, when you get to my age, trust me, in your 30s and 40s, you don't heal and recover as quickly. So training appropriately every single time becomes more crucial because you do one wrong thing and then you're just like, hi. Seriously. Oh my God, I hate being old. Don't get fixated on lifting heavy every time. Don't get fixated on like looking good so you can post every lift on Instagram. Really focus on what matters, which is getting stronger. Like if you're lifting to be Instagram famous, then just get some fake plates. I look like a balloon when I lift. Also why I don't share my lifting videos. But now you can watch me today. There's so many tools when it comes to lifting heavy. You know, there's lifting straps, there's knee sleeves, there's a belt, there's lifting shoes, and a lot of people get really worried about if they have the right shoes, if they have the right belt, if they have the right lifting straps, what they need. If you can't lift without a belt, if you can't lift barefoot or whatever, you shouldn't be focusing on getting $200 shoes or like, you know, lifting straps or whatever, unless your coach sees some real deficiency in your body that can't be fixed by just your training or your mobility training or your rehabilitative stuff. Then obviously get into that stuff. But try and stay away from all these things, especially in your first few months of training. I've had clients go and compete in powerlifting, you know, deadlift 200, 300 pounds without anything. I'm talking no belt, you know, no fancy shoes, just simple old Converse shoes, and do an incredible job. You know, it's nice to spend money, and if you have it, buy all this stuff. But I'm gonna use these now. Don't be too worried about getting the stuff. You don't need it, but I do. You also have to understand that these are tools that are made to assist you. If you don't know how to squat and you put these on and you think they're gonna fix your squat, they're not. You have to fix your squat. You know what? Actually, I just realized the same thing goes for supplements. I'm so out of breath now. This is gonna be like the rest of the video, me being like, the first 5 years of my training, the only supplement I took was a protein powder, and that was it. I took like the simple Optimum Nutrition protein powder. This is gonna drive me crazy. And then I took like a multivitamin, I took fish oils, and that was it. And it wasn't until I realized that I was like starting to lift heavier and heavier, and I was training more and more frequently, that I needed some things to help me with my recovery. So then I started taking a few more things like creatine, pre-workout, aminos, etc. Learn how to lift, learn to become more regular, get your basic nutrition from your diet, and then start worrying about doing other things. Like, don't be so focused on like, what are the things I need from outside? I have to go shopping. Don't. I mean, you can go buy workout clothes, but like seriously, you don't really need, do you really need anything? No. I have to do my next set now. Oh, I'm so tired. I'm kidding, next set. This is not even my heaviest. Today I'm doing, okay, so today, can I turn the sound off? Let me see. I don't know how to turn the sound off. Now I'm gonna do 225 and I'm gonna start doing singles, because my goal is to do maybe like 250 or 260 today. I'm not doing super heavy, so I'm just kind of like slowly progressing into heavyweight. Progress, slow. You can't go from here to the top of the mountain. You have to climb it slowly. Did that make any sense? All right. Hey, don't be afraid to sound like a gorilla when you're lifting heavy. Okay. I swear, I'm like this 80-year-old woman inside a body of a person who doesn't even look 30, and it's all kinds of confusing. Honestly guys, like, I have to tell you, heavy lifting is the best fucking feeling in the world. I also seem to have like 500 doors around here that can't stop opening and closing. I'm gonna take a break and then I'm gonna go back and lift. Oh, I think I should wash these. Hey you guys, I really hope you are enjoying this video and this quarantine. There is one fucking fly in here. This little fucker is like teasing me now. One other thing I'm gonna say, I'm not a power lifter. Like, these are not allowed in powerlifting. If you are doing any kind of strength training program, and let's say you find one online, I don't know if I've said this out before, but there are some, there it is. So there are some really, really good strength training program templates and books out there. If you are going to follow a program, and let's say you're just like feeling tired, you had a lazy day, this is driving me crazy. Make sure you adjust your training that day and don't push your body if it doesn't feel right. Like, it's important to push yourself and train heavy on certain days. It's a very rewarding feeling, but also there are days where you just might not be feeling it. You might be really exhausted. You might have had a really long work day. So make sure you adjust your training. And if you don't know how to do these sort of things, I'm gonna come back to the fact that you need a coach. You shouldn't follow every program exactly as it's written. You have to customize things based on your body. Like, when I stop talking, this thing shuts up. And then as soon as I start talking, it's like, okay, I have to make this heavier. There it is, stupid. Damn it. Oh, okay, there's two things I'm gonna say. It's kind of like 2 in 1, you know? There it is, there it is. Try and make friends in the strength training community, especially if you are training at a gym, or, oh my God, join a gym that is specific to your style of training. When you are around a community of people like that, it can be really helpful because you can learn from each other. Damn it. And can I just say, having friends to lift with is also nice so that you're not like loading and unloading the bar by yourself, because I seriously hate loading and unloading the bar so much. And I know there's deadlift jacks and all that stuff, but like, still so lazy. I am a very lazy person if I'm not working out. I just realized the light is pointing there and I'm sitting over here. So make friends in the community, message people in the community, become a part of like a Facebook group or an Instagram page so you can learn more from each other. And be also very careful about the people that you choose to learn from, because there are a lot of self-proclaimed coaches and specialists, and I'm sure you guys have that in your job, whatever you do. There's some kind of like moron or dingbat sitting on Instagram and is like, hey guys, if you want to learn about this job, follow me for advice and just pay me $100. And you're like, who the fuck is this cartoon? I think my break is over. For anyone who's wondering, yes, I lift in my socks because when I deadlift, I like to have like full, in case you're wondering, I don't have ADD. It's just this one fly. Okay, I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, so when I do deadlifting especially, I like to have full contact with the ground with my foot. I find if my toe or my pinky or something lifts up, my lift gets really messed up. So I like having that full contact. I don't do all my training barefoot. I'm just doing this barefoot today, but when you go to competition, it's not allowed. Focus in heavy lifting is very, very important. A lot of people are intimidated by the iron. Don't be. It's gonna be like your best friend ever. Don't think about Instagram, don't think about followers, don't think about recording, which kind of makes no sense because I'm recording today. Again, it's not something I do very frequently. So really focus on that lift. Focus on where you should be feeling that weight, what muscles you need to fucking wake up, and get your brain to like focus on that. Like, okay, I need my core to be activated, feet onto the ground, tight fucking grip on the bar, and just just grip that fucking bar with everything you've got and rip it off the ground without hurting yourself, okay? So my heavy sets of the day are done, and now I'm going to move on to my accessory work. Your accessory movements or lifts should complement whatever the weakest part of your body or your lift is, most importantly. So you are only as strong as your weakest link, which means if you have a weak lower back or you have a weak core, no matter how many belts and straps and shit you put on, you are not gonna get stronger, my friend. So it's really important that you use your accessory training or your accessory lift to really focus on things where you are weak. Now for me, because I have long ass legs, I am very weak in lifting the bar off the ground, but I'm very strong at my lockout. So my accessory movement today is going to be deficit deadlifts. So I alternate between my accessory movements based on what I trained that week. But again, because I've been doing this a long time, I am pretty accustomed to figuring out what I have to do, and I have that awareness or whatever. Think about where you're weak. Are you weaker when you lift a bar off the ground? Are you weaker at locking out your squat and deadlift? Are you weaker with your bench? Are you weaker with pressing? And then your accessory movements should focus on those weaknesses. So I'm gonna do some deficit deadlifts now, and I wanted to do 3 sets of singles at 260, but it didn't happen when I went in for my third one. Cool, let's do some deadlift. Shit. Oh yeah, hydrate. Oh my God, I killed it. Don't get mad at me. It's like the stupid fruit fly. I gotta throw it out. Sorry, buddy. Here's to the bug that annoyed the fucking shit out of me. May you rest in peace, little fucking annoying dude. So here's what I wanted to say. When you're doing your accessory movements, don't like try and max out in like your stupid bicep curls or like hip thrusts and stuff. You don't have to max out in everything in life, bro. Okay, just focus on maxing out on your main lift that day, and then focus on your accessory movements in a lighter intensity. That's it. I mean, ultimately, if your goal is to like hump an elephant, you probably need to know how to, you know, do a 300-pound hip thrust. But other than that, I don't know what the purpose of that is. There's something I've been wanting to say for like the last 20 minutes, and then every time I come in front of the camera, I'm like blah, 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 and then I start talking about other stuff. So I'm gonna come back and we're gonna discuss it, okay? Don't go anywhere. Aw, my camera's dying. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so my battery died, and now I am sort of almost done my accessory movements. So the next thing that I'm going to talk about with strength training is unilateral training. So unilateral training is when you're only training one side of the body. This really helps to address if there's any weakness or imbalance in the body. As human beings, it's very, very difficult for us to be equally strong on both sides, but doing unilateral training can really help to like close that gap between the two sides. So today for my deadlift accessory, I am doing a version of a dead walk, or like a unilateral deadlift with a kettlebell. That better. I'm gonna do kettlebell swings now. That's gonna be my last movement today. When you have someone, or if you, for example, are weaker at the top of your deadlift with lockout, then the kettlebell swing is a more important warm-up. But for me, I use it as an accessory movement because tomorrow I'm doing trap bar deadlifts, which are a little bit higher. So it helps me have more explosive power when I do those because I'm doing those for high reps tomorrow. Blue ball, anyone? Oh, anyways. Okay, I'm gonna sit down for a sec. The one thing that I've been trying to say in this whole video, and I keep forgetting to say it, is that don't compare yourself or your strength with other people. Like, don't look at girls on Instagram or guys on YouTube or whatever and be like, oh, this person is the same weight as me, they're lifting so much more, I feel weak. Don't even compare yourself to what you were able to do. Like a couple years ago, I was probably a lot stronger than I am today, but I also am not training at the same intensity. My life is different, my priorities are different. So you can have so many things going on in your life that are really going to influence the sort of training that you do or how heavy you lift. And ultimately you have to be, what do I say? Like, you have to have a realistic standard for yourself. Set realistic goals, set realistic maxes. Make sure you even know how to calculate a max, because otherwise you're just gonna be like frustrated all the time. Be proud of the fact that you are lifting. Be proud of how far you've come and what you are doing. You are already ahead of not only others, but yourself, because you chose to get up off your butt, get to the gym or work out at home. You're actually doing something towards the body or the strength that you want, as opposed to just dreaming about it and waking up every day and being like, nothing's happening. Hello, you're actually doing the work, because that's how it works. If you guys have more questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below, and hopefully we can start like more videos like this. And I hope you enjoy this. I'm really excited about being more true to who I am and what I do and what I care about on this channel. And I hope you'll join me for the journey. So thank you so much. Lift heavy, don't be afraid of it. It's awesome. And oh yeah, think strong always.